The eyes are a pair of sensory organs of vision. These are located in the orbit of skull with a cushion of fat around them. Each eye is spherical or rounded and called eyeball. The eyes are protected by bones, eyebrows, upper and lower eyelids with eyelashes, and the lacrimal or tear glands.
Movement of the eyeball within the orbit is controlled by 6 sets of muscles. Wall of the eyeball is made up of 3 layers: 1. Sclera, 2. Choroid, and 3. Retina.
Sclera/sclerotic. It is the outermost layer made of dense fibroelastic connective tissue with collagen fibers. It provides attachment to the eyeball muscles. The anterior, thick, transparent part of sclera is cornea. It is slightly bulged out for focusing light on the retina. The sclera is provided with blood vessels, however the cornea is devoid of them. Cornea is nourished by aqueous humor and also by lacrimal secretion.
The exposed part of sclera and the entire cornea are covered by a transparent membranous covering called conjunctiva. It provides protection and lubrication to the cornea. 2. Choroid uvea. It is the middle, vascular, and pigmented layer. It is not a complete layer and can be divided into 3 regions. A. The choroid proper. It lines the sclera. Due to its pigmented nature, it prevents internal reflection. The blood vessels of choroid provide nutrition and oxygen to the retina. B. Ciliary body. It is a thick, muscular, ring-like structure at the junction of choroid and iris. Its epithelium secretes aqueous humor. Attached to the ciliary body are suspensory ligaments which hold the lens. The ligaments and muscles of the ciliary body help in the adjustment of the size of lens. At the junction of the sclera and cornea, the vascular part of choroid sharply bends into the cavity of eyeball, forming a thin and colored partition called iris. It is perforated in the middle by an aperture called pupil. Smooth muscles of the iris help in regulating the size of pupil depending on the intensity of light entering the eyeball. The pigment in the iris determines the color of the eye. Lens. It is a transparent, elastic, biconvex structure. It is suspended in the eyeball by the suspensory ligaments. The lens and suspensory ligaments divide the cavity of the eyeball into a small anterior aqueous chamber filled with a clear watery fluid, aqueous humor, and a posterior large vitreous chamber filled with a jelly-like vitreous humor. It maintains shape of the eyeball and maintain pressure for keeping the lens in position.
Three. Retina. It is the innermost, delicate, non-vascular, light-sensitive layer. It has 2 regions. A. Single layer of pigmented non-sensory part lining the iris and ciliary body. B. Sensory part lining the choroid. It has an outer pigmented part and an inner nervous part. The inner nervous part is transparent and made of 3 layers. 1. Outer photosensitive layer made of rod and cone cells. 2. Middle layer of bipolar nerve cells. 3. Inner layer of ganglion cells. The nerve fibers from the basal end of the ganglion cells collectively form the optic nerve.
Additional details about retina. Blind spot. The blind spot is an area diagonally opposite to the lens. It is the area of retina from where the optic nerve and blood vessels leave the eyeball. There are no rod and cone cells in this region.
Macula lutea, fovea. An area lateral to and above the blind spot is called yellow area or macula lutea. At its center is a depression called fovea centralis.
It has maximum density of cone cells and is the place of formation of sharpest vision. The rod and cone cells lie deep in the retina, so that light has to pass through the ganglion and bipolar cells before reaching them.
Photoreceptor cells. These are of two types: A. Rod cells, B. Cone cells. They contain light-sensitive proteins termed as photopigments. Cones. The cones are responsible for daylight, photopic vision, and color vision. The cones are of three types, which contain their own characteristic photopigments that respond to red, green, and blue lights. Various combinations of these cones and their photopigments produce sensation of different colors. The sensation of white light is produced due to the simultaneous equal stimulation of these three types of cones.
Rods function in dim light, scotopic vision. The purple-red protein called rhodopsin is present in the rods, which is vitamin A derivative.
Optic nerve. The optic nerve consists of the fibers arising from the base of ganglion cells. It leaves the eyeball from the posterior side and carries visual impulses from the retina to the brain. Generation of image. The light rays from the object pass through the conjunctiva, cornea, through the pupil, upon the lens, and is focused on the retina to form an image. In the visual area of cerebrum, the nerve impulses are analyzed and the image formed is recognized. Accommodation. The lens makes fine adjustments to bring a sharp focus on retina. The ability of the lens by which the light ray from far and near objects is focused on the retina is called accommodation power of the lens.
ऐसे ही नवीनतम वीडियो के लिए चैनल को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करें। धन्यवाद।